Okay, this is my pre-selector I built. And got the design off the bobsamerica.com website, and I'm real happy and pleased with the way it works. I've made a couple of small changes to some components, and I'm getting ready to add another piece of equipment. And so this is the process that I take when I'm building stuff. So you see, here's Bob's website, and he's got, see, this right here. This is the one I built right here. My version of this, and well, all except for this part of it right here. And this is what I'm looking at now. This is his audio control panel, and it's got some interesting stuff. In fact, this website's filled with interesting stuff. So what I do is I go in here and copy and paste, and I put it into a Word document, and then I print it out. And this is what I got about listening post accessories. And you see, here's the audio control, and here's the pre-selector. And I print out, there's some schematics in here and stuff. Then I study this, and I make changes in the drawings, and decide what I really need and what would be useful for me. So this pre-selector and antenna impedance matcher works really cool, and I'm pleased with it. So off to the next thing. And how I started this is I printed the artwork. Before when I built this one, what I did is I did a mechanical paste up. And you see, here it is right here. I kept it for posterity. Here's this is graph paper, and these are just cardboard. See, there's the capacitor and the outline for the knob and everything right there. And I moved them around on this piece of graph paper to actually cut and taped to fit the size of this rack. And this is what I used for planning the layout of the panel. And I'm doing it a little bit different this time. I used some software to lay out and print this panel. And so here's some tests right here of the next part of it. Each one of these, see, here's the divider right here. Each one of these is 2 rack units, 2 rack units, 2 rack units, just like this one, 2 rack units. These are actually identical. Will be 3 identical enclosures. I got them a good deal on 3.5 of them. So I took it, and I will use them. So this top one, as you see right there, it says this is the audio conditioner, and designed by Bob Betts, built by Rick Cutter. At least I get accused of plagiarism. I did teach technical writing, so you don't plagiarize. So how this will work is, so I've laid this out to fit, and I followed if you notice, the graphics formats pretty much will match with this, so it'll all blend in. And the circles represent knob switches or lamp sizes. There's a 1-inch knob. This is the actual radio selector. Bing, 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 bing. For position, and then the lights up here will change either yellow or green, and then these are 3/4 inch knobs for adjusting the 4 radios. Over here we got aux control. You can read all. You can go to his website. Pardon me, and read all about this audio. These are actually speakers. I want to put a speaker out on the patio, and so I can turn that speaker on and off here. And this is the audio monitoring. These 2 big circles, These are VU meters, and this is a Bellman K8098 audio analyzer, which will go in here, and it has a 31 channel bar graph display, which will match up right well with my 31 channel mono graphics equalizer that I use for wherever it might be, at home, the business, the truck, or the SUV, toning the audio around however I want to do it, and or I can bypass it. So that'll graph display right here, and of course I've got the here's my dimmer, my switch for the dimmer, just like down here. See, bright lights, dim lights, bright lights, and then a power switch, and this is volume control for the headphones and a headphone jack. Now down here, this other panel, here is the antenna and receiver control panel. Here's the 1-inch selector knob for that. The actual switch is a different size, but we won't see that behind the panel. Then the LEDs right here, which will light for it, and of course a shunt switch. And then and then here's the receiver select. So receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can adjust the feed to that receiver here, and of course you've got the 4 LEDs that show you that that's selected, and of course dim and power switches down here. So the way all this will work is the antennas. Oh, I got a misspelled word. See that? I got to fix that. I got a misspelled word. So the antennas will feed into here, and you select the antenna that you want to feed. Okay, and it'll come out of here and come into down here, which is the antenna matcher and the RF pre-selector. So it'll be processed through here, and then the output of this will feed back into here to the receiver select, which this is actually 1-to-4 multi-coupler, and so you can feed up to 4 different radios, and the lights will show. Now you feed the radios, and you turn it up, and you're good. Okay. Now the audio of the radios. Currently, the way I'm doing this is the audio of the radio comes out and comes into this really cheesy mixer I have right here, and it comes out of this mixer and goes into my equalizer, comes out of my equalizer, and feeds this AUTEC filter, which feeds. I use this for filtering for a lot of things, and then that is split, and then it feeds here into this Radio Shack unit, which all that Radio Shack unit does is drive that speaker up there, because I have most of the time I have headphones on. So now what will happen is the receiver audios, instead of feeding into this cheesy thing, will feed into here and be conditioned and controlled, and I can actually monitor it better. Currently, if I want to monitor, I come up here to my harmonic distortion analyzer, turn this on, get that light away, and I can actually look at the voltage that's coming out of the audio. Turn this. You can't really see it, but anyway, it feeds to that, and I also have this oscilloscope plugged into it. I can see when I'm clipping and driving too hard, because my hearing gets a little old. So this is how I'm working this. I will leave these mock-ups sit here, and I will pretend play with all these knobs and these switches to see if I like the layout. I want to look more into this Bellman K8098 analyzer, and then from here I'll go forward with actually selecting parts, because I know that with this particular layout, from my experiencing on building this panel, I'll have plenty of room behind the panels, where here it got real crowded. You see, what I tried to do is put both of those into one box. Both of those two fit into one, and this is so crowded that the components won't fit behind the panel. This was not an exercise in futility. I don't believe you ever fail. FAIL is an acronym. First attempt in learning. FAIL. First attempt in learning. So here's it. I did that one first, and then I did these here. So here's my second attempts at learning, and I'm having fun with this, and this is how I plan out my projects. Thanks for watching.